okay guys, the lighting is not great, but it's supposed to be cloudy here for the next forever. So I'm gonna just go with it today. But I'm okay with that because I'm trying to avoid confusion for everybody, okay? Jennifer Harvey and her team at Chic Sparrow have released a new notebook called Sidekick, okay? Whew, you can tell I just got done getting Liam all settled down because we have been playing and playing and running, and now I'm out of breath. So this is the prototype for that. The finished product that should be posting this week. Today's April 26th, so it should be going up sometime this week at chicsparrow.com. Is going to slightly differ from this in a couple of ways, and I'm going to show you exactly how it differs, or describe to you exactly how it differs. So I don't want to cause any confusion by anybody like wanting this specific color, because this is just the prototype. Jennifer just made this out of leather that she already had laying around at the shop because she wanted to test the pattern and even see if it was feasible, first of all, to make it at all, if the pattern would work, considering that there are so many pockets, outer pockets, inner pockets. She just wanted to make sure that having all those multiple layers would even make a notebook that was usable, okay? Secondly, she wanted to make sure that it was a feasible product as far as use, and that was why she asked me to test it out, which I was shocked as heck. I am tickled to death, and I have really put this thing through its paces, both for her and for you guys, because like she said to me, there's no point in making it if it's not useful, right? So that was why she asked. She sent it. She said, if you don't like it, tell me exactly what you don't like about it. Tell me what you do like about it. And then, you know, send it back when we're ready to, you know, get it up for sale. If it's something that you find useful, we'll go ahead and start making them. But she had to find a leather also because, like I said, this was just something to test the pattern. She wanted a leather that would have kind of an elastic quality to it. So like she showed in her Periscope, she can put her phone in here. I don't know that I can do that with this leather. I honestly haven't tried. She said she put an iPhone 6 in the front pocket of it. I have a 6 Plus, so I didn't try it, but I'm going to borrow Clayton's. Clayton has an iPhone 6, one of the boys does, so I'm going to mooch his when he gets home from school and see if I can fit that in here. So the ones that are going up for sale are, right now she's only doing personal size. This is a personal size, so that will be the same. It is a dove gray leather, so it's not going to be available in this red because it's a completely different leather than this, and I want to be like overly abundantly clear about that, okay? Functionality is going to be exactly the same. I think that the leather that she found for it is a far better leather for this pattern than this leather is, okay? So I was really tickled. She tried for a long time, you guys, to find the right leather for this pattern. So that's one difference. It's only going to be available in a dove gray, so keep an eye out at chicsparrow.com if you want to see pictures of it, because Jennifer had shown it on Periscope yesterday, but that'll only be up for 24 hours. So I don't know if there'll be a video of it going up on YouTube or not. I have no idea, okay? So that's the first difference. Different leather, different color. Personal size, so that's the same. The one that Jennifer showed in her Periscope is this pocket out here. The outer pocket's a little bit different on the one she showed. I think it might go a little deeper. At least that's the way it looked to me. Now that could just be like the way that, you know, the camera is sitting, you know, so I can't speak to that because I haven't seen the finished product. Also, the way my pocket is made, see how it looks kind of like a smiley face, sort of? The one that was in the final product for hers, I think it came up to here, and then instead of continuing kind of this curve toward the corner, it came up to maybe here roughly. I'm kind of guesstimating, you guys, and then it went straight. It looked like it went straight parallel to this side, which in my thinking might kind of act like a gusset and allow that pocket to open a little further. Like this one does. You know, this, I can get quite a bit in here. It opens quite a ways. But like I said, the leather that she found for this, she said it's a lot squishier than this leather is. And it also is really great as far as an elastic property. So it'll stretch to allow you to cram a pocket, but then it'll go right back. Okay? That was another difference. The other difference will be that on the finished product, and like I said, I think there's more room for this because the pocket, I want to say on the finished product goes down further. So that leaves more room for the logo to go over in here. She was saying it would go right above the opening here for this pocket. I want to say that curve went lower. On this one, the logo is on the back, and she had even said, she's like, I'm sorry, that one, you know, they weren't worried about it because it was a prototype, but she felt bad that the embossing on this one didn't go well. I wasn't worried about it in the slightest, but that'll be another difference, okay? Otherwise, as far as how things are laid out, it's all exactly the same in this as in the finished product, okay? Those are the only differences. So there are 4 elastics inside, and I want to show you guys this notebook empty, but Jennifer asked me to really put it through its paces. She knows that I like to have everything with me. Anything I might need while I'm out and about, I want to have with me in as few books as possible. Now that hockey season here has ended, I mean, Mike is still back and forth with postseason stuff at the rink, but he's going to be around a lot more, which means that I can take my stuff and I can leave the house and work for a couple hours here and there a lot more because he'll be home. So I put everything in here as far as my planner goes, okay? Anything I'm going to want if I am going out specifically to get some work done. If I'm going to go to Starbucks or whatever, I want to have all my planner stuff with me, okay? So that being said, I'm going to empty this out so you guys can see what all I have in here, what all I have been carrying in here. And I've been carrying it in here for, I want to say, over a month now, okay? First of all, the one thing I don't have in here that I generally have at least a little bit of is cash. But invariably, if I have cash on me, either Mike or one of the boys ends up with it. So that is what I have been keeping back in here is cash. I can get cash in here, no problem. I do have some stamps in here right now, but I have one stamp in there right now. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to get stamps. So that should be the same on the finished product, okay? And like I said, it looked from the Periscope like the leather that Jennifer used in the finished product is gonna be slightly stretchier than this, okay? I can still stretch this open plenty for my uses, but the one that she had looked like it would even give a little more, which is fantastic. So, outside zipper pocket on the back, slip pocket in the front. What I've been keeping in here is I just have a piece of scratch paper for shopping lists for like the stuff like, you know, hey, we're out of sandwich bags, or hey, I used the last dryer sheet, Mom, you know, stuff like that. I just slipped one of these in here. I can get it all the way in there. I haven't had a problem with it falling out at all. Rather than keeping like a Post-it stuck here, I can just keep it in that front pocket. Okay, I've also stuck cash in there. I've had receipts in there. Hockey tickets, I've taken this to several hockey games at this point, so I could stick the hockey tickets in there. They were easy to get to, no problem. I didn't have to worry about anything falling out because when it was closed, that strap goes right across the center of that pocket, so no problem there. So, scratch paper and whatnot in the front. Okay, now when you open it up, as you can see, it looks a lot like her regular pocket layout for a deluxe personal size notebook. Okay, so I have, pop this out of here. Driver's license, debit cards. That's what you guys know me, that's what I always tend to keep in there. And while we're at it, I was talking about the regular pocket configuration for personal. Instead of having the secretarial pocket in the back, there is a repeat of this, but it's just flipped. So the smaller pocket is on the bottom, the bigger pocket is on the top, and then another pocket in the back, okay? I love this. I never utilize my secretarial pockets enough. I have no idea why. I like this better though. I can tell you that I like this a whole bunch. Nothing wrong with my secretarial pockets. I don't know what block I have in my brain that I don't use them. So just so you can see that first, okay? Definitely a difference there, okay? Back in here, I have, if I can get my hands on it, I have a Project Life card, or no, this is a Tim Holtz card that I want to put in here somewhere and I didn't want to lose it, so I stuck it in the pocket. A list, some more of that scratch paper that I've been using in the front, some more scratch paper. We're getting to that time of year, we're planning another graduation party and all that, so lots of scratch paper list junk going on. I folded up a sheet that both Hunter and Jack brought home from band for their band dates for the rest of the year. Normally, this is something that I would either stick into a folder or leave it on my desk, you know, right on top and have to keep freaking moving it all the time so I wouldn't lose it. Thus, I folded it up, stuck it in the pocket. Easy peasy, I won't lose it. That is one thing that I can say right up front about this notebook that was like the first thing about it that struck me. It's like it combines everything I love about my favorite ring-bound planners, like a Daytimer Malibu or a Filofax Malden, which is the pockets. Those two ringed binders are hands down my favorite ringed binders of all time because of the pockets. Part of the reason I kind of got away from the rings is if anybody's bag is going to get squished or stepped on or tossed around, it is mine in this family. I have Liam with me all the time and he's getting bigger now, so he's better about it. But when he was littler, you know, as soon as we'd get home and he'd unbuckle him, he'd want to like climb up in front in the van and, you know, pretend to drive. And, you know, you get in the driveway and park and one of the kids would unbuckle him and invariably he'd come wanting to climb in my lap and pretend to drive. And my bag is sitting in between the front seats. I was desperately worried about my rings getting crushed. And that I've never had to replace rings in a ring bound binder. So when I went to Traveler's Notebooks, I was so tickled when Jennifer came out with the deluxe because it had those extra pockets. For me, and I am just a pocket person, I always have been, there is no right or wrong, so if you're not a pocket person, that is totally cool. For me, the more pockets, the better. This kind of combines all of my love for those pockets and those ringed planners without having the rings. So I don't have to worry about my rings getting squished. Also, I've told you guys this before, I just like the footprint of not having the rings. It makes a more rectangular book rather than a more square book because the rings need that space. Again, that is totally an aesthetic thing. Okay, so that's kind of the best way I can describe it. It's like my pocket ringed binders have been put together with a traveler's notebook. Okay, total aside. So that was everything in the front pocket. In the back pocket, I have room for business cards. I have my business cards. I have Mike's business cards. I have some for Jennifer because invariably people will ask me where the notebooks came from. And then in here I have let's see, another list with some notes on it for a video. And then this is just a Project Life card that I folded in half, and I stuck some of those Tim Holtz pockets onto it that I showed you guys in my last setup video. And I just put the insurance cards into those little pockets. So they're kind of all, that way I don't have them out here. I don't need to get to the insurance cards all the time, but I obviously have to have them with me. So this was a nice little compact way, tucked in. It's not gonna go anywhere. It can't fall out, but I have everything together. So that's what's in there. Okay, now the actual guts. I have, and I'm gonna do a separate video showing you guys the setup. Okay, I'll show you a May setup. I have 1, 2, 3, and I have the last 2 put together, 4, 5 books in there, okay? Phew, so there are 4 elastics, okay? And pen loop. So there she is, all empty, you guys. Yeah, 5 books. I have in here some stuff for the clinic. What is the next one? I can't tell unless I look. My weeklies, my dailies, project notes for each week. Like I showed you guys in my Agendio video, I lay out all the projects for everybody. Anything that anybody needs to get done, like project-wise, like if the kids have school projects, my stuff, anything Mike has for hockey or the clinic that he's kind of asked for help getting or grabbing or whatever. That's all in my Malden. This is just because I'm going to be able to take off and do stuff out of the house. This is just kind of real quick jotted down my project stuff, okay? And my my calendar for the year, my monthly calendars for the year. Okay, separate video on the setup, you guys. But here it is all laid out. So here you can see better that back pocket there, that back pocket there, 4 elastics, 4 pockets total within the front and the back cover, zipper pocket on the outside of the back, slip pocket on the outside of the front. Okay, I have beat the heck out of this thing. Okay, so, and that was one thing Jennifer asked. She's like, if you don't mind moving into it, use it however you want. I went ahead and moved everything into it so I could see how much you could kind of get away with. With the different leather, I don't know in the finished product, you could absolutely get 4 notebooks in there, no problem, because it has 4 elastics. I have no problem with 5 notebooks in here. So, and it's just going to depend on how chunky you want it to be. And that was one of her concerns, why she asked me to play with it for a while and really, really use it, was her concern was, if you think about it, you have multiple layers of leather here to create all these pockets, right? I mean, here you've got 2. Okay, 2 layers, because there's obviously the leather on the outside and then the leather on the inside, because you need those 2 layers to create this pocket, right? You need 2 layers to create this pocket. All right, but see, it didn't come out. Now I said it's a slightly different leather than this, but I did not find it too bulky at all. I am one of those people who can stuff a planner, stuff a traveler's notebook to a pretty good extent and not feel that it's too chunky, but the second that I can't comfortably pick a book up like this, it's too chunky for me. And I have pretty small hands, so I can't go crazy. I love the look of a chunky book. I like my books to be chunky to a point, but if I can't pick it up comfortably, if I'm like hurting my hand to pick it up like that, then it's too much. 5 notebooks in here, I have not had a problem at all. So that is pretty much it, you guys. If you have questions, by all means, if you go to chicsparrow.com, you can email them, you can call and talk to the wonderful Ruth, who I finally got to talk to yesterday. Hello, Ruth, who is amazing and so incredibly sweet. And ask them, you know, if you have any questions at all. And you know what, after Jennifer gets a couple rounds of these posted on the shop and, you know, everybody goes, maybe I'll go ahead and buy a gray one so I can kind of compare and give you guys a rundown of what the actual finished product is. Like I said, function-wise, the construction of it, exactly the same as this. Different leather, different color, and then that front pocket is cut a little bit differently in the final version, and the logo will be right down here above the opening for that rather than on the back. Okay, I have been in love with this thing. I am absolutely tickled. I told Jennifer it's kind of like she made my unicorn notebook for me. I have always, I seriously considered de-ringing one of my beloved full of pockets ring binders so that I could turn it into a traveler's notebook, and I never had the nerve to do it. So now I don't feel that I have to. If you guys have any questions, give me a holler. By all means, if you want your questions answered absolutely correctly, ask Jennifer and the team at Chic Sparrow, okay? Thank you guys so much. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.